On the show, winds of change in Kashmir, filmmakers return to the valley after 30 years. It's India bashing claims to BJP as Rahul Gandhi stokes fresh controversy with his comment on India's foreign policy against China. And details of the migrant row brewing down south in Tamil Nadu. Chief Minister goes into a huddle. This and more. Top Angle starts right here, right now. Now, panic gripped the migrant workers community in Tamil Nadu when several videos went viral on social media that allegedly showed Hindi-speaking workers being assaulted in the state. BJP leaders also tapped into these claims of violence and alleged that the state government led by Chief Minister Stalin has failed to protect migrant workers. When the situation got worse and some workers started to leave the state, the administration had to take a number of steps to normalize the situation. Chennai police booked BJP state president K. Annamalai for allegedly inciting violence and promoting enmity. Condemning the rumors, Chief Minister Stalin said that the migrant workers are safe in Tamil Nadu and that his government is steadfast in protecting their rights. He also reportedly spoke to Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar, assuring him that all workers are safe and no harm will be caused to them. Apart from this, State Governor R.N. Ravi sought to assuage any apprehensions of migrant workers, saying Tamil Nadu people are nice and friendly. Well, the state intervention to quell the unrest was evident as industries across Tamil Nadu rely heavily on migrant workers. It's home to nearly 10 lakh migrant workers, out of which half of them are concentrated in northern Tamil Nadu cities of Tiruvallur, Chennai and Chengalpattu, while remaining of them are primarily from manufacturing hubs of Tirupur, Coimbatore and Erode. Now moving on, Congress senior leader Rahul Gandhi is again in the line of fire over his comment on India's foreign policy against China. While addressing Indian diaspora in London, he said that the central government doesn't allow the opposition to raise concerns over China in the parliament. Rahul Gandhi accused NDA government of inaction against Chinese territorial expansion.
If someone is stronger, and the foreign minister of the country is saying it. You imagine he's saying China is stronger than us, so we can't fight with them. Achha, the British were stronger than us, so then we shouldn't not have fought with them. How would we ever get independence? How would we ever get independence if we had followed the BJP's principle and the RSS principle?
Meanwhile, the BJP has hit back at Rahul Gandhi and has called this tirade against the government an India-bashing stance.
मुझे लगता है अपनी नाकामियों को छिपाने के लिए एक सुनियोजित तरीके से विदेशी सरजमीन से राहुल गांधी जी ने भारत को बदनाम करने का ठेका ले रखा है। उनकी भाषा, उनके विचार, उनकी कार्यशैली सब कुछ संदिग्ध सी है।
And earlier, Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar in an interview to ANI had taken a jibe on Rahul Gandhi, saying it was Prime Minister Modi and not Rahul Gandhi who sent the forces to the line of actual control against the Chinese troops. Moving on now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed post-budget webinar on health and medical research. He said India's approach is not just limited to healthcare, but the nation is going one step ahead and working for wellness centers as well. Let's listen in.
गंभीर बीमारियों के लिए देश में अच्छे और आधुनिक हेल्थ इंफ्रा का होना उतना ही जरूरी है। सरकार का एक प्रमुख फोकस इस बात पर भी है कि लोगों को घर के पास ही टेस्टिंग की सुविधा मिले, प्राथमिक उपचार की बेहतर सुविधा हो। इसके लिए देश भर में 1.5 लाख हेल्थ एंड वेलनेस सेंटर तैयार हो रहे हैं।
Shifting focus now, the first phase of the Naval Commanders Conference 2023 was held on board India's indigenously made aircraft carrier INS Vikrant in the Arabian Sea of Goa coast. The conference to discuss important security issues is also being linked to India's China strategy. A red-letter day for India as Defence Minister Rajnath Singh addressed the naval commanders the very first time on India's indigenously made aircraft carrier with an estimated 76% indigenization component and at an approximate cost of 20,000 crore rupees. INS Vikrant was commissioned by Prime Minister Narendra Modi in September 2022. In the conference, the naval commanders also shared the Agnipath scheme details of the first batch of both male and female recruits. Meanwhile, due to the significance of the venue, the importance and relevance of the conference increases many folds. Also, the timing is very crucial as the conference was held amid China's increasing presence in the Indian Ocean region. And notably, the forum was used to discuss matters related to maritime security, challenges and other military strategic aspects. The conference also focused on the battle preparedness of the Indian Navy. Moving on now. With winds of change sweeping the valley, Bollywood returns to Kashmir, India's own Switzerland, as many would say. And all this is happening after more than 3 decades now. It's lights, camera and action in Kashmir Valley. Who can forget the famous song picturized on the legendary Sharmila Tagore and Shammi Kapoor dancing on a shikara over the Dal Lake from the 1964 movie Kashmir Ki Kali. After long, in the last 2 years, a record 200 Bollywood and Tollywood filmmakers have come to Kashmir to shoot movies, albums and web series. This is the highest in 34 years. This can be seen also as a big boost both to the local economy and tourism in the valley. It also reflects improved security conditions and a steady return of normalcy after the abrogation of Article 370. The filmmakers are now shooting in new destinations, including Gulmarg and Pahalgam. With the unveiling of the film policy, many more filmmakers are applying for shooting films in the valley, including South Indian filmmakers. The Jammu and Kashmir administration has also made special provision to attract them. With the Indian film industry returning to the valley, the first multiplex opened in September last year. Theatres in Kashmir had been shut in the early 1990s, and the reopening is after a gap of more than 3 decades. Moving on now, China has been increasing its military spending for 8 consecutive years now. This year, it has hiked its defense budget by 7.2% to about $225 billion US. China's defense budget is over 3 times as high India's defense budget for 2023, which amounts to 5.94 lakh crore rupees or roughly 72.6 billion US. At the opening session of the National People's Congress, outgoing premier, without directly referring to the Eastern Ladakh standoff with India, spoke highly of the PLA and its operations at the borders. The Chinese premier called it, and I quote, major missions relating to border defense. This specific reference is being regarded as significant in the context of China's offensive actions at the line of actual control with India. By head count, the People's Liberation Army is the world's largest military. Besides being the leader of the ruling Communist Party, it is 69-year-old Xi Jinping who heads the PLA's Central Military Commission. Under his leadership, the Chinese military is undergoing modernization at a massive scale. China could now have 3 aircraft carriers by the end of 2023. The PLA Navy is scheduled to begin sea trials and live fire drills for the country's 3rd aircraft carrier, the Fujian, this year. The PLA Air Force is expected to commission more advanced warplanes. The Chengdu J-20 stealth fighter and Shenyang J-16 multi-role fighter jet are all set to replace the legacy Chengdu J-7 fighter jets. It is known that China has been ramping up defense expenditure in a bid to vie with the US for global influence. But Beijing assures that China's military modernization will not be a threat to any country, but what it calls a positive force safeguarding regional stability and world peace. But China's actions, on the other hand, put that assertion in doubt. A territorial dispute instigated by China in the 1950s eventually led to the Indo-China War of 1962. In 2020, dozens of Indian and Chinese soldiers were killed as both armies clashed in Ladakh. In December last year, China had again provoked a fresh clash in Arunachal Pradesh's Tawang in the eastern Himalayas but no deaths were reported. So far, India has had at least 17 military and diplomatic talks with China to assert its territorial domain. Perhaps it's time for China to put its money where its mouth is. Moving on now, a Delhi court has sent Delhi's former Deputy Chief Minister and Aam Aadmi Party leader Manish Sisodia to judicial custody till 20th of March. Sisodia has been in CBI custody in connection with the Delhi excise policy. CBI produced Sisodia before the court after his 7-day CBI custody ended on Monday. During the hearing, the counsel for the investigation agency said that the CBI was not seeking further remand but may do so in the following days. The counsel also noted that all investigation activities such as searches and arrest warrants have been conducted accordingly and the court has been informed. Following the arrest, Sisodia had resigned as Delhi Deputy Chief Minister on 28th of February. On 4th of March, the Rouse Avenue Court had extended the CBI remand of Sisodia for 2 more days. Well, on that note, this is the end of this edition of Top Angle. Do check out incisive news analysis and cutting-edge documentaries streaming on News 9+.